Here we go. We are live. What's up, brother?
Hey, how's it going, man? How you been?
Dude, I am super excited for this episode.
Same.
So before we introduce our awesome, really exciting guest here, I know we put some stuff on social media about him here, but a couple of housekeeping things. Lee, what date are we going to be at Mortals Key again?
We're going to be at Mortals Key, February 6th. February 6th, that evening, we're going to be live streaming straight from Mortals Key Brewing.
Awesome. So that's
Check us out.
It's about 2 weeks from now on that Saturday?
Yes.
Awesome. Right on. And then I've got some really exciting news. So I just got my first shipment here with a company called Beer Drop. So it's a monthly subscription box. You know, there's a million of those out there. You know, see the subscription boxes for makeup and for hunting tools and stuff like that. But this one is specifically for beer. And I just got my first one in the other day. I'm super excited. So the subscription gives you 10 beers. It's 5 different beers. It's 2 beers from 5 different breweries. So you kind of get like a double. So you don't just get one and really like it and have to get another one kind of thing. So you get a 2-pack of each one, and it's different breweries from all across the country, places that I've never even heard of here. So I just got my first one. And what we're going to do, we have a link for a referral code that will be in this episode and on all of our social media channels. So we'll put some links into here. So some of the brews that I'll be drinking here. Lee, I did not share these with you at all, so I will be enjoying them myself. But we'll put the links. We'll shout out some of these breweries. I've had a few of them already, and I'll probably dig into 1, 2, or 7 as we do this episode. But check us out. I've had nothing but great experiences. Customer service has been great with them, and the referral code will be out on all of our channels and in the description of this episode everywhere that you stream us. So now that is taken care of and out of the way, I want to introduce our guest this week, Jon Silva, an old friend of mine. This is another episode already in the few that we've done that we have another Coastie joining us. We found out that our buddy over at the B3F podcast was a fellow Coastie as well. But I was stationed with Jon in the Coast Guard. He served in the Coast Guard Reserve for many years. He is the co-founder of Humble Beginnings Coffee Company. Awesome friends of the show. Got their hat up on here. They've been killing it, and they've been super supportive of us. Obviously, he'll jump in and give us a little background on that. But he's a father. He's a husband. He works in cybersecurity and is a real estate investor. So we're going to jump in here and kind of tackle as many topics as we can. But let's add Jon to our stream here. And there you go. What's up, buddy? Hey, welcome.
What's going on, guys? I have to say, man, all this beer talk, it's tough. Doing a 75-day challenge right now and 75 days of no beer. Maybe I should have waited the 75 days to come onto the show because, man, what you're pitching, Ramey, for those vendors sounds awesome. And you're going to a brewery. These are like my favorite things.
I know, man. Once you're off that cleanse, we'll bring you back to the dark side.
Oh, I know. I don't care if I have to Uber all the way down there from Massachusetts.
There we go. We'll be in the middle somewhere.
Yeah, there we go. That's cool.
Well, hey, man, Humble Beginnings Coffee. Obviously, I've been following you guys since Jump Street and trying to support you guys. But you guys have been showing us tons and tons of love. The coffee's amazing. But give me a little backstory. Why coffee?
Yeah, you know what? So we have 3 partners right now at Humble Beginnings. It initially started with 2. One was another one who, Justin and I served with at the same location. And, what happened was when we went down on lockdown in, what was it, March now? It's almost been a year, which is wild.
That's insane, right?
Oh, it's wild. It's wild. It's been a blur, that's for sure. And, we noticed that suicide was up 820%. And so Johnny and I, one of my partners, one of the 3, we decided, we had to do something. And I've been roasting coffee for about 3 years now. And as soon as everything went on lockdown, people started reaching out and they were saying, hey, can you help me? I need coffee, more work to do than ever. Sure. Johnny and I were getting up around, 4:30 in the morning. We were, meeting about our family goals, our personal goals, really holding each other accountable, right? Because it's really easy to procrastinate when you're on lockdown and sort of just sit behind the scenes and just kind of be a little bit passive. So instead of feeling bad about the situation, we actually decided to level up and start helping. So, Johnny pitched, said, hey, why don't we just start a coffee company? And I was like, all right.
Right, man, let's do it.
Cool, man. Cool.
Sure.
We learned a lot real fast about, creating LLCs and FDA requirements and all that kind of stuff. And we had a lot of love and support in the beginning, and we started to teeter a little bit. And, our third partner, who we also served with, Devin Greenwell, came on board, who was also silently roasting coffee among many other disciplines for a long time. And he was a strong add to our team. And, from there, we've continued to grow over the past couple months, continue to try to give back as much as possible, right? That's really what we stand for. And so, through coffee and conversation, right? Maybe a buddy just needs to have a beer with somebody, or maybe a buddy just needs to have a coffee with somebody, similar outreach situation. So that's what we're all about.
That is so awesome. Here, I'm gonna get a little banner going
for you. I like that.
Yeah, we're moving up in the world
fancy.
here.
You guys are fancy. You blew my mind with this setup. I got to be honest. I haven't watched one yet, but I do listen to them when I'm going to the post office to mail out coffee.
Dude, I love it. Yeah,
you're actively in the second one, so you've only missed one to watch it.
Oh, right, good. Yeah, exactly. All right. I mean, I saw one, but I didn't see the rest.
Yeah, right.
Right. No, that's awesome. Yeah, we're still trying to figure out. I'll point out that I'm perfectly blocking out our own logo just for this. I mean, it's a little bit of a work in progress, but we're kind of trying to take giant leaps every time. We were talking about that a little bit before we went on live. Is that we're learning so much from each episode, and really everybody that we interact with, we try and take something from them or from the episode that went really well, or something that just went terrible and bombed. And now I realize I got to move all of our logos. So it is what it is. But
yeah, there you go. At least you're doing something.
And that's really what it was. I think obviously nowhere near the level of what you guys are doing. But me and Lee kind of talked about the same thing of like, listen, we could have like talked about doing this podcast forever. And we're just like, listen, it's so easy to sit there and talk about it and analyze it and dream and wish about it. And we're like, listen, we just got to jump in with both feet and try and figure it out,
Right. And I saw the amount of streams you guys are getting now. Like I said, I've been following you from the beginning because you showed us love and support from our beginning. And that's what we like to do, is just really grow with the people who, especially were there in the beginning. And, when we heard you guys got like 500 streams right off the bat, we were like, damn, these guys are doing something right. Right.
Dude, it's still so, I mean, tongue in cheek and pun intended. It's very humbling. It truly is. Like we talk about it every episode, and really every time we get together, it's like, how are people still streaming in and tuning into us every week? Like we figured, we get some really great support off the bat, and people will pity us the first episode or two, but it continues to grow, and hopefully we're doing something right,
Yeah, and there you go. And the thing is too, like, you never know, and we think about this all the time. You never know who's listening, right?
Yeah.
Right. Out of those 500, even if it was one, you guys made them feel like, I was having a shitty day. Maybe they're, trying to figure out how they're going to pay their next bill, but they're like, hey, I tuned in with these guys. I had a beer along with them, even though they didn't know I was there, but they actually helped me big time. So as you continue to grow, that's going to happen more and more. And it's going to happen even in silence when you don't even know about it. And so just continuing on to keep going forward and keep pushing, this kind of stuff out is awesome. I love this stuff.
Oh, man, Lee, I don't know about you. I'm ready to run through a brick wall.
Right.
I love it. I love it. John, you're going to have to come on here every week and just pump us up. I love it.
Yeah, man, there's three of us that are all, focused on motivation, and we have a lot of mentors and coaches and people in our life that really speak into us like on a regular basis. So between that and the 3 cups of coffee I had today, solid combination for success, I'd like to think.
I saw the French press going about an hour ago.
Yeah, I had to tag you guys, because I was like, this guy's a psycho. He's nuts. Right? So, like, I'm going to have this. And to be honest with you, as soon as this is over, I'm going to bed. Like, who does that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
It's not like our coffee doesn't have a lot of caffeine in it.
No, that's true. That's true. I tell you what, everybody has absolutely loved it. I love giving out recommendations for people and everybody that we've seen. And I know you guys showed some support to Omega Jugs that we had on a couple of weeks ago. But everybody, I love giving it gifts, and everybody's talking about it. I try and send it away because the coffee truly is amazing. Now, I didn't know, you mentioned you've been roasting coffee for like 3 years. I didn't realize that it went back that far, because I remember I saw something. I don't know if it was you or Johnny. They posted these hats or something similar a long time ago, and it was a long stretch. And I've been waiting for it forever. I was like, man, I saw that hat a long time ago. I've been trying to keep tabs, and then all of a sudden, you guys it seemed like you did everything right to hit the ground and just explode from Jump Street. So
yeah, it's so funny you say that, dude, because it is true. I tried to launch this thing a couple of years ago, And, my wife ended up being pregnant. Right. And so me being in the current role I was at in my career, it was just really difficult to kind of keep it going. And full disclosure, I started roasting coffee in a Whirly Pop popcorn maker, just kind of spinning it around like this, really trying to learn. Went to an electric roaster, went to a bigger roaster. So I've really been learning along the way, but it is funny. My wife told me we were actually pregnant by getting a Humble Beginnings, this symbol here, onesie with the
no way
campaign and the positive pregnancy test.
Oh,
so
awesome.
Humble Beginnings really was a humble beginnings for us because, for us, we actually, in all honesty, we had difficulty getting pregnant. So when that happened, it was kind of like, oh man, we have to come back to this. So when Johnny and I kind of circled back and we kind of brought the idea to light again, I was like, man, we got to stick at least for a little while with the OG symbol. So we are going a little bit more advanced, and we're coming back a little bit back and forth because, for that reason, there's a little story behind it that we like to not forget. So yeah, learned along the way. That's for sure.
Dude, that is awesome. What a story. What a great background to that.
Yeah. No, I honestly, full disclosure, I almost forgot that story. Just kind of, we're so freaking busy, man. I'm like, geez.
I know.
But it's a good thing. It's a good thing for sure. He's coming up on 2 years old now. So, you're right. We did exist, and we built up there was a lot of like demand, like it was coming. People were asking for it, and then I was like, nah, I got to shut it down.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
So then, when March happened, it's just, you guys know, right? We were watching the media and it's just like everything's negative going on. And it's just like, shut the TV off, man. Like, what can we do to scale up, level up, change a life, make more, do more, help more? You know what I mean? Like, we're not, in the military, they pull that shit out of us.
Right.
Swear on this podcast, right?
Oh yeah, well, we can now. Way to go! Way to lose all of our sponsors, John.
Yeah, it might be.
Pulling their money.
Yeah.
Not Hyundai. Subaru now.
The camera's just gonna go dark.
Mm-hmm.
See it, just a lifeline going across. Oh boy.
Oh man, that's funny. And I think it's true probably with everything. And I even said, like, you guys just like came out of nowhere, hit the ground running. And I'm sure so many people don't realize, and I probably breezed over it, is there's so much more back work behind the scenes that anybody knows about. Man. You know what I mean? It seems like, it's like with music artists and anything out there, it's like, oh man, that just one day they blew up. And really there's years and years of work in the background and so much stuff that goes on behind the scenes.
Absolutely, dude. You hit the nail on the head. And full disclosure, right? I want all of our listeners and everybody we're connected with to really understand who we are. Our first day when Johnny and I launched, we did around $300 in sales, right, from friends and family. And we were like, wow, what a great opportunity this has been. Well, not everybody drinks coffee so often, right? The margins are small on coffee. You have to do very large quantities to do well.
Yeah.
And so we went from, if you look at it from like a stock market perspective, our stock was, at when we went public, if you will, right?
Sure.
Launched. It was worth so much money, and then it cut in half. So it really took that discipline to really dive back in, take a look at our analytics, who's buying where, is it family, is it friends? And just staying actively engaged with our customers is super important to us, right? So especially the ones who, get the subscriptions for coffee. We're not really just trying to sell to you. Like, we really want to have a relationship as much as we can with you, because the point of it was to have a cup of coffee and conversation and really get to know our community.
Anybody who's not following you guys on social media, hop on there. It truly is a breath of fresh air every day. You guys, the content ever there is always uplifting. It's always positive. There's something cool.
Yeah, God bless Devin.
Yeah,
God bless Devin. He's our main media guy, and like I said, when I mean he was a good ad. Yeah, I can't even put it to words. Johnny and I were treading water a little bit, in full disclosure, and as soon as we brought Devin on board, we really rocketed forward, and we're looking at a good 2021.
Yeah, man, it's awesome. I can't wait to see what comes out. Obviously, we're only a couple of weeks in, and it seems like you guys are absolutely crushing it. And I know I talk with Devin a lot on social media. At least we're always commenting, join back and forth.
Yep.
It's always cool to see him throw a comment or something like that on there. Shout out to Devin and Greenwell. Rather, it sounds so weird saying Devin.
I know, dude. That's why I can't call you Justin. You're Rain. Sorry, audience.
Do you call him Devin, or is that just for this? Like, how weird is that?
No,
Well, it's probably a little different with you guys, though.
You know, it's funny because all three of us, we do other things, obviously, which you had mentioned, and we love this to be our full-time job. And honestly, it's getting that attention with the amount of hours we put in. You know, like I said, we've been going since super early this morning. But depending on what our different schedules are, we'll call each other directly, and then we'll get the third partner up to speed with what's going on. Like tomorrow morning, we have a mastermind session with someone who's a multimedia guy, and we're sort of going back and forth and shooting ideas back and forth. And another one popped up at lunchtime today, and Johnny was behind for 10 minutes, and then he hopped on, but I was in the truck going there. So Devin and Johnny took over. So really having more than one person for the business, I could have never done this alone. Sure. No way. Not without investors and having some sort of income that I could pay my mortgage with along the way.
Right.
You know, so
on top of that, I mean, you and Johnny are right up the rope, and then you got Devin on the completely other side of the country.
Yeah. I'm joking. I was giving him such a hard time. We had a story the other day, and he was like, the Seattle dude. And for some whatever reason, that just got me good. But you know just as well, Ramey. With being in the military, I think what we all understood was, we can be friends from a distance, and it's easy for us. Like, we have no problem hopping on a plane. What might not be normal to a lot of people, the connections we build are all over the United States, and so that's definitely been helpful, and it's also helped with the different time zones too.
Oh, absolutely.
Longer availability.
It doesn't seem like Devin's ever asleep, though.
No, he does not sleep.
We
have to make him. We have to make him sleep.
I believe that. There you go. And for the record, there, John, I changed my name tag for you. It should make it a little easier.
Oh, that is good. I was looking for ME3, little maritime enforcement. I don't know if you made second before you got out. So
I did not. Way to rub that in my face.
I made it in the reserve, so it's pretty much a seaman apprentice.
There you go. It's like an equivalent to an E2, right?
Yeah, there you go.
Oh man, that's funny. Oh, man.
Yeah, no, it's good stuff. But yeah, no, we have to force Devin to slow down a little bit sometimes.
I'll believe that. I'll be going back and forth with him on something, and I'll be, drawing back and forth on Instagram or something, and it'll be, 9, 10 o'clock here at night. I'm like, oh, okay, it's not too bad for him. And I'll wake up in the morning and I'll see another message or something at 6 or 7 and shows like Devin's still active. I'm like, dude, it's 3 o'clock in the morning, man. What are you doing?
And 4 a.m., no later than 4 a.m. every day.
Yeah.
Every day.
What a guy. What a true Renaissance man. We got to have Devin.
No, man. I'm glad we got him before you guys did.
Seriously, man. We were looking. No, that's awesome. We'll have him on here. He's always showing.
Yeah, you have to. Definitely.
I mean, it's almost one of those things. We could probably just hit record. I mean, kind of like with you, we were joking. We're just going to like sit back, drink beer, and just kind of wind you up and let you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Be the same way. But what about now? I mean, you guys starting out in the middle of the pandemic, how has that affected you guys as far as getting everything off the ground? Was there anything different, any more hurdles you guys had to jump through with creating the LLC and all that stuff? I mean, where you guys can't really meet, there's no people, everything has to be all digital now. How did that play a role?
Yeah, it certainly had an issue. Yeah, when Johnny and I created the LLC, we had a difficulty getting our employee identification number, right, from the IRS, and they were only faxing them. But last time I used my fax machine, dinosaur, right? So
right.
I'm like, trying to figure this out. Everything's absolutely closed. I mean, we are locked down back in April.
Sure.
But we did start to take a look at the statistics about, e-commerce was up 20%.
Sure.
So we were like, all the coffee shops were closing. So I actually reached out to some brick and mortar stores. Believe it or not, we sell coffee in a hair salon. There's a diverse number of places we sell our coffee because all small business owners were looking for another avenue of revenue.
Sure.
And so, thankfully through social media, especially Instagram, other entrepreneurs who are local to us and local to Devin, we just try to build that rapport and that connection. Eventually we did get the federal ID number that we needed, but with all of the IRS working from home, they weren't used to that. I mean, they always had a small percentage. I'm sure some of them could work from home, but not all of them. So they were completely overwhelmed, and it was a tough hurdle. But honestly, we've had iPhones. I've had an iPhone since 2008, right? So the technology piece wasn't too big for me.
Humble brag.
Yeah, it wasn't freaking easy for me.
Yeah, right.
No, but seriously, yeah, no, we certainly did face some hurdles, even with the platform. I won't put the platform out there, but it wasn't that great. And so we had a couple $1,000s in sales that were actually locked up, and they kept telling us we didn't provide our EIN number. So Johnny and I, all of a sudden now, through starting, our seed money, which we funded out of pocket, now all of a sudden we have orders to fulfill, and we're paying shipping out of pocket, and we're paying, all this other, stuff out of pocket. And in the beginning, shipping killed Johnny and I, and eventually we streamlined and figured that out. But yeah.
How was it getting things now? Obviously, you guys, I've seen beans from all over the place. Now, how was that getting things into the country now with everything all locked down? Was there any issues trying to get these beans from different locations? Was there anywhere you weren't able to get it all, or?
No, we got everything we wanted to. And I did take a look at those statistics right before we started too. And coffee specifically was still coming in and out. Granted, there were lockdowns, but the vendor we use here is sort of our single point that we get our green coffee beans from. And they actually reach out all over the country, and they have micro farms and micro lots that they have partners and relationships with. But thankfully, right, with coffee, that green coffee bean, before there's heat applied to it, right? So right when it comes out of the cherry, we could go way into detail on that. But that's good for at least a year, right? So there were supplies and pounds and pounds and pounds at our vendor's shop. We could have it in 3 days and have it roasted and out the door within 24 hours.
Oh, that's awesome.
So yeah, no, we didn't, thankfully we didn't have any supply chain issues. But I do know for, brick and mortar coffee shops, a lot of their business is wholesale business, right? So a lot of these coffee shops you see in Cleveland, Boston, these big cities, they're actually not roasting their own coffee. They're using a small time roaster or a smaller coffee shop who is also a roaster, and they're wholesaling their coffee and they're promoting it as their own.
Sure.
So those brick and mortars definitely took a beating.
Yeah, no, I believe it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if anybody's smart enough, that would be the last thing that they would try and shut down. Is the world revolves around coffee? Everything would go to hell if we shut that down. So.
Yeah, it does. I mean, but we need to, adapt, and as unfortunate as it is, right? We need to sort of learn, right? Because what I like to say is really I don't know about you guys, but I'm certainly not going to rely on the government to come help me out and bail us out.
Right, exactly.
So it was kind of the mentality of like, who can we help, right? Because we love coffee, and we did reach out to coffee shops, and we were like, hey, is there juice shops too, right? Those are like mom and pop and pretty small too, like the juice cleansers. We were like, can we provide you coffee at a ridiculous wholesale price? I'll drop it off, and you can mark it up as whatever you want to double the price.
Sure.
So we try to find ways to like give back, but honestly, and we're fine with sharing these numbers. We make $4 on a bag of coffee, right? So people look at our coffee who aren't consistent coffee drinkers, and they're like, I'm not paying $20 or $19.99 for a bag of coffee. But that coffee was roasted within a week tops.
Yeah.
And, and that includes shipping and taxes. That's insane.
No, it truly is. And not just to toot your horn or anything like that, just because you're on, but honestly, I drink a copious amount of coffee, and I've always been more of a quantity over quality kind of guy. And truly having that first bag from you guys, I was like, man, there's really no big difference. Like, man, a $10 bottle of wine and a $100 bottle of wine, it's wine, And
right.
And like an idiot who drinks craft beer and makes that argument against that reasoning.
Yeah, right.
Opening up that bag of coffee that was roasted so fresh is just an insane difference. It truly, truly is.
Yeah,
you really don't realize it until you have it. Yeah,
absolutely. And if you go to the grocery store, it can be on the shelf for like 3 months.
Oh, probably even longer. I mean, that's conservative. It's probably longer.
Right. And people are like, I love this. It's amazing.
Right.
Well, guess what? You love marketing.
Right.
That's what you love.
Yeah, true.
So,
you love marketing.
We're fine with that, right? Because you got to remember that a small percentage of coffee drinkers are the true, and probably even craft beer too, and craft anything, are truly like appreciative of a good beer. Like, you guys understand a good craft beer, and we understand a good cup of coffee, right? Doesn't mean we don't drink crap sometimes, right? Like we were in the military. remember, going on SAR cases at midnight and they're like, is the pot of coffee on? Like, let's just slam it. I don't care what kind it is. So
right.
I'm not biased if it has caffeine in it, but I do appreciate a really good cup of coffee.
I almost sent you guys a picture. I had to stop and we were talking about this a couple weeks ago with Aaron of Omega Jugs. We were talking about the McDonald's coffee and how it's just the absolute worst. And I had to stop the other day and get some. And I almost sent you guys a crying face of like, man,
I'm not gonna lie, man.
I'm so sorry. I had to. I felt
I'm not gonna lie, man. My wife's a teacher, and they were doing a promo on coffee, and she was like, "I can go get that for $1." I'm like, "It's always been $1." They're just saying like it's $1 for teachers now."
Right, exactly.
Right. Yeah.
And my wife doesn't even drink my coffee. No way.
Really?
Nope. K-cups only, and not even our K-cups because
you guys got K-cups now.
The problem is I take too long. I'm an artist, man. I get up early and I'm doing pour over. She's like, I don't want to wait until your coffee. So to the appropriate temperature is between 195 and 205 for your water to hit the coffee. And so I have a kettle that'll get me to that exact point. I'm waiting until the extraction happens from the bean, all the natural sugars coming out, So she's just like, give me a Starbucks K-cup. Like I got places to be, So,
I'll tell you what, I'm part of that lazy crew, and I'm so excited the guys have K-cups now because that's right up my alley.
We do.
I'm hit it and go, and that's it. So.
2 of them are accounted for already today, but whatever that math is, that's what I got left.
Yeah, that'll be my next order, and I got to get a new hat. We were talking about I busted out my old hat, and hopefully my camera is terrible enough to not realize all the sweat stains and all the markings on it.
That means you put it to work. That means you put it to work, man. Like I said, this was the first hat I ever ordered. We have a couple renditions now. Every day when I go for a run or every day I get a workout in, I wear this because it's kind of like a reminder to be like, hey, remember where you came from. Don't ever forget as this thing continues to blow up, symbols change. This hat, I kind of wanted to tell a story with me, which is why I wore this one. And I have, of course, a ton. This is the one I choose all the time.
Dude, that's awesome. I'm so freaking happy for you guys. It's so cool. It really is.
It's been fun, man. And that's part of it, right? Like we're having fun. And, it's easy. All 3 of us get on a call and our ideas. I have a huge whiteboard attached to the wall on my left here, and we just get going and ideas are flowing and moving and going. And it's just real good because it's just a little positive light every single day. Even if I have a bad day, I'm like, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, right. Well, it's cool too. I mean, starting with where you guys have the background of all serving together and all being friends on top of that, right. So to be able to build something and to see something grow, and at the end of it, you guys are all supporting each other as well. It's really a recipe for success, I think.
Right. Yeah. We've been really fortunate. And that was something, from the military perspective that we went back and forth on, right? Because, do we push that in people's faces? We didn't really want to do that. We wanted to just really speak to helping others, showing that we really do love coffee. And for 2021, we're going to prove that we're giving back to others. So we have that level of accountability where we're going to actually show everyone, this year what we're actually doing. So
dude, that's
I'm
awesome.
excited for that.
Other companies, man, take note. Humble Beginnings is coming for you. Man.
We are, man. We're on your Achilles heel. Nipping. We're nipping at you. Yeah.
Since Sean broke the seal, we can say they're coming for your ass now. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. My bad. I'm not even drinking either.
I know, right? Exactly. We're the ones supposed to be cussing.
Next time.
Isn't that what happens though, man? You get 2 military guys, and like here it comes. All right, it's just right back to it. But,
oh, dude, yeah, we never even left off.
Right. Now you mentioned, and I wanted to jump on this. I actually had this written down here on the perfect temperature, right in the water and the pour over and everything like that. From not Humble Beginnings, but from Jon personally, what is the perfect cup of coffee? How do you make the perfect cup? So it really depends on the person. Same goes with the roast, right? There's variances, but we'll stick with light, medium, and dark. Okay.
Devin, right? He likes a dark roast. He likes it a little bit more firm, more like Seattle-y.
I've heard that about Devin. He likes it a little more firm.
Yeah, and it's dark and firm. So that's
so it's Devin, right?
Yeah, it's Devin. That Seattle, what I call like that Seattle flavor. For me, I don't believe in roasting past to a dark roast, but people want it, so we do it. And so the thing I really like about the medium roast is that I don't really believe in getting an expensive bean, putting it to a dark roast, because you're roasting all of that moisture out of the bean. And in my opinion, and Devin and I can debate on this, in my opinion, it pulls, some of that flavor out, right? So why wouldn't I just get a junk bean and beat the heck out of it in the roaster? Sure. With that being said, the reason why I said I like medium is because my favorite way to have coffee, even though it's faster and I usually do a French press now, is the pour over. I like to do that because it literally pulls out the natural flavors and the sugars of that bean on a medium roast. It's the perfect level of caffeine for me. As soon as that water actually hits that fresh ground, literally, and I've grind it right before of coffee, those first couple drips that you see in a pour over are actually the acid. So if you have like acid reflux, or you're really trying to save your teeth a little bit, those first couple pours while the coffee is what's called blooming, you can actually dump that, even though there's a lot of good sugar in there, which makes it taste good. So you don't really have to add any, but you could do that. That's an option too, which is really why I like it, because you can kind of customize it to yourself.
Wow. Holy cow. I'm learning so much about this. I'm such a coffee noob, man. I really am. God, I put the cake up in the machine and I'm awake now.
Bibbidi bobbidi boop. And
right.
Yeah.
I think the most advanced thing I've ever done was do I did a cold brew overnight in a French press. And I was like, I'm a fucking wizard. Like, this is great. Look at me. I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. I probably talked about that more than anything all day. I was like, oh yeah, this coffee, I made it last night.
I remember that Snapchat.
Kept it in the fridge. Yeah, right. Exactly, man. I praise everybody for it.
I honestly, I love cold brew too, but I can't make it because I can make it in large quantities. And what happens is I end up going back more and more and more, and I have more throughout the day. By the time 8 o'clock hits, I'm like, why am I exhausted?
Yeah, right.
So if I have to take the time to grind it, to do the entire process, it might slow me down a little bit. So
sure.
That's my favorite way to have coffee for sure, is the cold brew. I like making it overnight, and in the refrigerator I've got the little maker and everything. I make it all the time.
Oh,
man.
I love a good cold brew.
For sure.
Yeah, that's the way to go. Now, true or false, so this is me showing my just true ignorance. Leaving that, like steeping the coffee overnight.
Sure.
Does that, but besides obviously the flavor, does that do anything else besides like I've heard like the myth of like, okay, it's a stronger coffee, right? It's more caffeine content.
It's sitting in room temperature. If you're sitting it in room temperature, it's also lower acidity. So a lot of people say for the same reasons that I said before, right? If you have acid reflux, you're better off having a cold brew. But just setting it in that, and honestly, I mean, anything's sitting, right? Even if you make, some people will argue with me, right? There's people who are chemists in coffee, and I still consider myself a rookie. It's never-ending learning.
Sure.
But if you make a hot coffee, right, and you leave it in there for 12 hours, I mean, it's been sitting in that for 12 hours. Probably gonna be a little bit stronger than if you did it for 4 minutes, which is the normal time for a French press. Just in my opinion. But like I said, people could argue me on that all day. And I could be wrong.
I mean, I've microwaved some day old coffee in my day.
Oh, I do that, man. Sure. I do drink my coffee, or our coffee, but don't get me wrong. I'm trying new coffee shops all the time, and I know what coffee shops aren't roasting their own and what ones are. And if I go to one of my favorites, which is about a half-hour drive, shout out to Red Eye Roasters in Hingham, Massachusetts, because
Red Eye Roasters, there we go.
He's been a mentor to me, so I'm fine with giving the plug there. I'll save it. If I have half of it, I'll definitely reheat it, even though it does change the chemistry behind it, but I don't care. I love it.
Here we go. Ready? Red Eye Roasters.
Ooh.
Boom.
Damn, you fancy.
Man. You didn't even know this was going to be like this tonight.
This is great, man. Giving me ideas.
I know. Please steal them all. Absolutely. Please. I can't wait. Now you said stealing ideas. Now I'm gonna call you out on this, right? Because I saw a Snapchat, or not a Snapchat, maybe an Instagram story, something like that. And to the average listener, or the average person, it might have slipped past, right? It might have fallen into the cracks. But I might have saw maybe a microphone, maybe a sound mixer, maybe a laptop or something. What's going on over there?
You caught us. We're starting a boys band. It's called Humble Beginnings.
Dude, listen. If you're starting a boy band and I didn't get a call, this fucking conversation is over.
Why do you think we have John Matthews on the team? All right,
that's true. He's better than me in everything.
Yeah, he's the lead. Yeah, no, I'm glad you brought it up. We're starting a podcast. We're running through all the the testing, as you guys can probably relate to, there's a lot to learn when you get a podcast going, and we're going to have to go through those same lessons that you probably did as well.
Wait a minute, we were supposed to test this. We were supposed to test this.
I had no volume in my mic. I don't know what you're saying. I see your lips moving, but
oh no! Don't do that to me, man.
Oh man! I realized I realized it's an audio show, so I couldn't really just do the gesture. I fixed that.
Oh my god! Anybody listening to this, you need to go to our Facebook page, go to our YouTube page, find this. I'm going to find it. What was it? 35 seconds, and see that prank that John just pulled on us, because I am
35 minutes, 24 seconds.
I almost shit my pants. Oh, don't do that to me, man. That's it. I'm quitting the boy band.
Yeah, you're out. Right.
Hold on. Some real quick ASMR. Here we go. Ready?
Yep.
Oh man, that's great. I hope that hurts. I hope that hurts your 21-day cleanse.
It's 75, but thanks.
What is that one?
21. I'm at like day 20 right now, so tomorrow would be a great time.
You know, this is Lee. This is the Naughty Maryland. It's a Belgian style ale. It's an 8.2%. Where's it from? Crystal Springs Brewing Company, which is in Boulder, Colorado.
Oh,
so shout out to Crystal Springs.
All right, I got a question for both of you guys now. Now I'm going to reverse it on you. And if you've answered it in previous episodes, please ignore.
Oh no, please.
What's like your favorite? We'll start with you, Lee. What's your favorite like craft beer? Like, are you like a lighter?
Oh, I know this one.
So like in general, like
what's your go-to? You're like, all right, hon, I'm going to the store. Like, I'm grabbing a 4-pack of my favorite. Like, it doesn't even have to be brand, but just like type.
Sure. I mean, I'll even go as far as brand. I mean, if I'm just drinking, like, Justin has a great term for it. He calls it garage beer. And that's just like cheap beer that we just drink, to drink like water.
Yeah, I love it.
And I mean, that my go-to is Miller Lite for sure. But if I'm buying craft beer, and if it's just something like hang out and drink with everyone, I love Great Lakes Brewing Company, Dortmunder Gold. I really think it's like it's what beer should taste.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
By far my favorite.
What are you thinking, Ramey? Where are you at?
So like if I had to pick, like gun to my head, like favorite beer, it's Victory at Sea is the beer, and I had it. It's like a ridiculous alcohol percent. It's like 11%.
You got to get what you're paying for, man.
Right. It like they only sell it in 4-packs or like 20-ounce bottles.
You're like, babe, I only had one beer.
Yeah, right. That's exactly what it was. Yeah. Hey, man. Last episode, if you saw, I've got a couple more of those crowlers. Those like,
ooh, nice.
What are they? 32-ounce beers. Yeah, there you go. Right.
That might be that Australian beer. What's that one called?
Foster's. Oh yeah. Right. I tell you what. Listen, man. And we're not beer snobs at all, and we don't claim to be experts or anything. But I tell you what, I like Foster's a lot. Actually, Foster's is pretty good. Give it a try. It's not bad for such a huge, right? It's not bad for such a huge beer, but
that's awesome. Yeah, for me, I'm more of like a champagne yeast, like fruitier beer. That's like a higher percent.
Fruit beer. Yeah.
There's one brewery actually, and it's called Toppling Goliath. I think they're out of Idaho. There's like a dinosaur on their beer, and for whatever reason, it's all over Massachusetts now. So they must be probably your way too.
Yeah.
It's amazing if you guys see it around.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think it's one thing. Probably, it's always probably the same concept, I guess.
Yeah, it is. I mean, how many variations can you have, right?
Right. Well, I think probably you guys have run into this, or maybe even just you personally, and everybody does the same thing. Back when I used to be in car sales, is once you have something, or say you buy a new car, right? You all of a sudden you see it everywhere, right? So once you become a coffee roaster, once you own a coffee shop, you see all these different roasters, right? Or once we get into craft beer, right? We're looking at the brewers, and it turns out there's 80,000 breweries near us,
Right.
It's one of those things until we really dove into it and kind of started this podcast and really looked into it more, we realized, holy cow, like we're surrounded by there's so many different people, right?
And, right.
And we could go to a million different breweries or have a million different beers, and there's just so many different varieties. And when I put you on the spot and kind of say, hey, what's your favorite cup of coffee? What's a perfect coffee? It really does depend. People always ask us the same thing about beer. Like, what are you drinking, or what's your favorite beer? Like, well, man, it kind of depends.
Mm-hmm.
Is it summer? Is it winter? Am I eating? Am I not? Am I am I having a campfire with Lee and we're down in a whole case of Miller Lite, or are we doing a podcast? And I'm gonna
there you go. I get you.
Right. So it just depends, you know, and I think you could probably close to the same thing. Like we always say this is, you know, life's too short to drink shitty beer or have bad coffee. Right. You know, why not indulge? Why not?
And that is our mentality too. You know, you never know what's going to happen tomorrow. That's why we're trying to do everything we can today.
Right. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I live life like that too. You know, like I live my life day to day. You know, it's like, there's coffee time and then there's beer time. Like you were talking about, you know, is it too late for coffee and too early for beer? Right.
Yeah. I mean,
why even drive that line? Why draw that line?
You know, I'll tell you though, man, I've gone away and have done some Airbnbs, and you know, my buddies will crack, you know, craft beer at like noon, and I'm like, dude, now I'm just like, I'm getting old, man. I like get sleepy. I'm like, but man, my son's he's got another 7 hours awake, man.
How great of an excuse is that though? Like, oh, dude, my kid, sorry, I can't.
Like, you're not even driving or going anywhere.
Right.
What are you talking about, dude? You've gone on like one vacation this entire year. You're not gonna have a beer with lunch.
I think I might have did that to Lee last time we were over. And be like, oh yeah, sorry, I got Jackson. He's like, dude, he's upstairs. Like,
he's not even.
You're at home. I have to drive 45 minutes. You know? Lacey just your lovely wife Lee just coming on Christmas ale with cinnamon sugar on the rim. Now that is hard to beat. So the one thing Cleveland is somewhat known for is their Christmas ales from one of Lee's favorite breweries.
Great Lakes.
Great Lakes Brewing Company does a Christmas ale that's very popular. It's like right up there with Three Dogs. A lot of people have had theirs as well, or the 12 Dogs of Christmas. A lot of people have for the Christmas ale. There's a little controversy back and forth on who actually started the recipe, if it was the 12 Dogs or if it was Great Lakes. But
you've heard that, right? Like it was I don't know if everybody's local or not, but it was the 12 Dogs guy that was the original, and then I guess Great Lakes.
That's what they say.
You know, That's what they say, right? That's the story that I believe.
Yeah.
Those son of a bitches, they.
Yeah, right. Exactly, man. Controversy in the craft beer world, man.
Yeah.
The QAnons.
The underground. Yeah, exactly. There you go. That's awesome.
Oh, jeez, that's great, dude. Now, Lee, I know we did some Would You Rather last episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I was going to try and put John here in the hot spot with a couple of Would You Rather for some coffee related ones here. Right. Not to beat a dead horse, but I figured why not? So we were big on these Would You Rathers. We had a blast doing it last time. So
sure. Yeah.
So I guess we'll kind of rapid fire here. Iced copy. Wow. Holy cow, dude! I got to start drinking coffee and stop drinking beer on these episodes. Oh no! You were ready for it. You were ready. You were too ready, my man. Not cool. Oh man, have you?
Your listeners have no idea what we're talking about.
I know exactly. It's so funny because 99% of I think we had like a couple of watches on the video. Facebook was great, but I think our YouTube page got like a couple of views. But excuse me. The on the video of this, John was just holding up the pen to do a horizontal gaze nystagmus, which I can luckily still say in my inebriated state. But I don't know. I feel bad. I want to jump off. There's a funny story I have with that HGN, John. I don't know if you even know this story. Lee, you might have heard it before. Mm-hmm. So there was a lady in Rochester before I came up and met you, John, up in New England, that we pulled over, I don't know, probably 10 times in 2 years, right? For BUI, for boating under the influence. And I remember I was a fresh, just got certified as a boarding team member. I was, I don't know, maybe 19, 20 years old tops, like super, super green, just like in my uniform, just okay, here we go, you know?
Yeah.
And we pulled this lady over and everybody knew her from all the past things, but I didn't know. It was my first time. And we get her onto the pier, we tie up her boat and everything, and we're doing a full field sobriety test, and we go to do the horizontal gaze nystagmus, which is the whole follow the pen, right? And if anybody doesn't know, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a secret. Listen, do not drink and drive. Don't do it. It's not worth it. But of all the field sobriety tests, it is the one test you cannot practice. You have no control over at all. If you're intoxicated, we're going to know pretty much immediately, right? So my buddy Josh Lurvy, shout out to Lurvy if you're listening, goes to do the test, and one person administers the test, one person writes down the notes. So I get to write down the notes, and I'm watching this lady, and she goes left, and she goes right, And then she moves over and she meets my gaze and shoots me a quick wink. And then goes right back to the test. And I was like, hold on. Like, wait a minute. Maybe I'm okay. I'm writing stuff down. And she goes left. She goes right. She moves back over, shoots me a wink, shoots me a little kiss, comes right back onto the test. And I'm like, all right, hold on. And every time just stopped, would get to one end, stop, turn over, wink like she was going to get out of the test. It was to this day, it was my favorite and all-time best field sobriety test I've ever done. I wish I remembered those ladies' name. I would give her a little shout out if she's still out there and hopefully is not drinking and driving her boat anymore.
I can't believe we haven't done this yet. I think one of these times when I'm drinking here, and not that I drink and drive or anything, but I would like to see how much it actually takes to go to a point where I can't drive. And I think that we should, at one of these points, test each one for me. Like,
you don't have kids, do you, Lee?
I don't.
yeah. I can tell, man. No matter what, dude. I get up at 4 a.m. not because I'm an entrepreneur. It's because my son's like, rise and grind.
right. It's easy. John's over here on his Instagram, like, oh yeah, up at 4 a.m. again.
Yeah, I'm like, I might as well park this.
Right. Oh, dude, that's funny.
Yeah. I remember after that first episode, I messed with Justin now with the kid and stuff, and we had those Mad Elves, and they were like 11% alcohol by volume. They were crazy, and we were up until like 1 o'clock in the morning just because we had finished recording at like midnight.
It was like a Tuesday too, right?
Yeah.
It was a terrible day, right?
And I ended up sleeping until like 10:30, and like, sorry, man, I didn't get your text message. I was in bed.
That was the next text. He's like, just waking up. Dude.
10:30. I couldn't even tell you. I couldn't even guess when the last time that ever happened for me.
Oh yeah. I mean, a couple of times I'll sleep till like 8 o'clock. I'm like, oh my God, what have I done? You wake up like feeling guilty. Like, what happened? You know?
That's every day for me though. Like,
my wife and I, no joke, we were sitting on the couch and Saturday morning and we made a pretend day. If we didn't have a kid, what we'd be doing.
What you would do?
Started it. She kept going. Like it included like Buffalo Wild Wings for me, and like Netflix, and it's like, and then our son started crying, and it was just like shattered.
right back to reality.
It's great though. It's great.
No, it really is.
So I didn't mean to interrupt you, Ramey. So my bad.
No, please. That's how it goes on here. I'm surprised we made it this long without going on some random tangent and completely break what we were actually talking about. And I'm going to say that's probably 90% you being the professional on this podcast and us just trying to kind of follow your lead. So
yeah, like I said, until I have craft beer, I'd be right there with you. So
right. So I was so excited for this drop that I got, this beer drop that I've been cruising through a few of these, not realizing that, hey man, it's only Thursday. You should probably calm down a little bit.
Thursday is Friday.
Yeah, if it's Thursday, it's might as well Friday. It's Saturday, it's the weekend. There you go. That's how it works. But yeah. I'm not on your guys' level. I'm not on the 4 a.m. crew. I would love that. Now, who was that? Who was the 4 a.m. thing? That wasn't Gary Vee. It was what's his name? I can't think of it now.
I'm going to be honest with you, dude. I don't get up at 4 anymore. And Devin. Dude,
this is your perfect example. You don't have to lie to these people.
Oh, I'm 100%, man. Because you know what?
You're like, I don't get up at 4. I get up at 3:30.
Yeah, no, I do like the 5:36 thing, man. I need sleep. Everybody's different, man. Like for me, like no jokes. Some nights I go to bed at 8 and I get up at 6:30. Like I just need sleep. I know myself. So people can say all the millionaires get up at 3:30. Well. Hopefully I make a millionaire one day and I can say, well, not me.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I'm with you. Sleep's too important, man. People forget about that. You got to take care of yourself. You really do.
I hear you.
What the hell were we talking about? Would you rather coffee, something like that?
Oh, right. Yeah, you had some would you rather questions.
I heard like iced floppy and that's about it.
Something like that. Yeah. So iced coffee, hot coffee. What would you go with?
Depends.
If you go, so you only have one, right? So this is you only have one for the rest of your life, right?
Rest of my life. Damn, hot coffee for sure. You pull a flavor up. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Lee, what about you?
That's a tough choice. I mean, like hot coffee in the mornings is so ritualistic, you know?
Yeah.
And as much as I love cold brew and I love like iced coffee and stuff like that, I feel like I would miss that ritual of having hot coffee in the morning.
Especially in the summer.
Right. And I feel like if you can't drink hot coffee in the summertime, you're weak and you'll never survive the apocalypse.
The thing is too though about like guru coffee drinkers, right? Coffee snobs out there. Mm-hmm. Hot coffee, you can definitely pull the tasting notes and the flavors through that process easier than you could with iced coffee. So that's the reason why I had to go with it, because I don't know if I wouldn't want to taste like a good coffee ever again, right? It's just kind of like, I get what you're saying though, and iced coffee, in my opinion, is built for speed. Hot coffee is kind of more comfort.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm going to revert back to last week's what we did with the whole underwear and socks thing. I want to say I think I'm only going to go hot coffee because we all live where we walk outside and the air hurts our face in the winter.
Yes, and we choose it willingly for some.
Well, one of us does. I don't know about me. Think about that all the time. I'm like, dude, I don't have to live here. Like, I could move, I guess. But
we played the lottery and we're like, what's the first thing we would do if we win? And Lacey was like, well, we'd buy this house. I'm like, hell no, we wouldn't buy this house.
Yeah, dude, we're not buying a nice house at the end of the street. We're getting the hell out of
right. We'd buy it to burn it.
Yeah, right. I would just leave the door open.
Right. Does anybody else daydream about winning the lottery like I do?
I never do. You have higher odds of getting bit by a shark and struck by lightning in the same year.
For sure.
So, taking a look at those kind of numbers, I just don't have time to think about that. But I love to dream.
Hold on. I'm going to be a dick here. I'm going to call you on that. How many people get struck by lightning and bit by a shark in the same year? That's crazy. Everybody wins the lottery.
I don't even know.
There's always a winner in the lottery, right?
The thing is,
gotta win.
I read that on Wikipedia, so I know it's guaranteed.
What a perfect answer. Listen, man, I read it on the internet. It's true.
Yeah, so it is what it is.
Right. I think I've bought like one lottery ticket my entire life.
I don't even know how. My friends,
dude, I'm the same way. I'm afraid to do it.
I couldn't imagine being a 33-year-old guy walking in now and being like, sir, can you help me buy a lottery?
I'm the same way, dude. I agree. I'm too embarrassed to even try. Right.
That's why now I'm like, that lottery.
Yeah, right. I want to scratch off. Like, give me a 32. But like playing the actual Powerball. Like,
yeah, exactly.
How to do that.
They're like, sir, that's a $20 bill. You have a $10 bill. Forget it. Forget the whole thing.
Right. You just grab your shit and leave. Like,
you're crying.
Right. That's the winning ticket,
Yeah.
Oh my God. I passed this. When I brought that up, I passed a billboard the day, at least the Ohio lottery the other day. It was like $836 million. Just something completely outrageous.
Almost an even billion.
Was that?
Even
I mean,
billion.
why not round up?
I don't know if anybody won that either, so it might go up. If no one wins it, it'll go up.
Well, it's not going to be me, man. We're too embarrassed to go buy a ticket.
Well, I know we didn't win.
Yeah, right. Clearly, it's not us. Right.
Awesome.
That's what they say. You got to buy a ticket to win. That's how it works.
True. You're not gonna, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Wayne Gretzky, Michael Scott.
Michael Scott, Wayne Gretzky. We have that framed in our office at work. It's like one of the first things when you walk into the building that you'll see. It's awesome. Now, John, the bio that I put out here, I wanted to touch on one thing. Now, I know what you do for a day job, and I know obviously our background with the military and all that, but you threw one little caveat that I didn't know about, and I wanted to dive into just because it's something that is close to what I do in my day-to-day job and something that I'm interested in the future. But you threw out there when I asked you for a little bio to put out on our social media of a real estate investor.
Yep.
So tell me about that. What is the difference between a real estate investor and somebody who buys a condo for $50,000 and rents it out?
Mindset and what you want to do in the future.
Boom.
Because
honestly, he had an answer ready, guys. Listen, that's how you know he's legit.
Either everybody, but with that being said, right, you're a real estate investor if you go buy Realty, which is a electronically traded fund, technically, even though it's in the market. I guess you can consider yourself a real estate investor, or a company that's like a platform like Fundrise, right? You might have heard of that before. Mm-hmm. You're considered a real estate investor, right? So I have 2 properties now, one in Orlando, one in Weymouth, Massachusetts, and then obviously I have my current residence as well. And I'm looking for another property now, but the thing is, I always put out there that I'm a real estate investor because it's like coffee. It is one of my passions, right? A lot of my mentors are in real estate, and the goal is to, not that and people always get confused too. They're like, oh, Jon Silva's money hungry. No, I'm freedom hungry, because if anything showed anything to anyone during this, being home with my son, I used to come home at bath time. Now I pick him up at daycare at 2:00 in my shorts and my hoodie.
Right.
You know, it's a game changer, right? So I'm going after passive income, which if I get the opportunity to do this coffee company and make a salary of $20,000 a year, it doesn't really matter because I have enough passive income that still meets my family's goals and needs, and I can be around. I'll never miss a baseball game or whatever sports he decides to play or doesn't. And so putting yourself out there as a real estate investor, even if you only have 2 properties, but you want to do it long term, guess who's going to come to you when an opportunity might come up?
Mhm.
You're gonna be like, oh, Jon Silva's a real estate investor.
Right.
I'm going to go to him, right? So perception is key. And so, like I said, even if you invest in Fundrise or one of those low-level platforms, you're considered a real estate investor in my mind. And it just depends what you want to do long term.
Man, I love it. I love it. What,
I feel like I need to learn more from someone like you. Just like having any investment knowledge at all would be great. Like I have a few 401ks from a few different companies that I work for. You know, not to break it down, it's not huge amounts of money. You know, and I called my dad. I'm like, hey, should I pull these out and put them somewhere else, or what should I do with it? And my dad's super smart too. He knows a lot about a lot of little things. So, and I just asked him, you know, what should I do with this money? He's like, Lee, it sounds like you know just as much as I do. And I'm like, well, now what the fuck do I do?
Yeah. And that's the thing. And not to dive in too deep, but do you own your house you're in right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're good to go there. That's, you know, a lot of people are, you know, maybe you could refinance, pull a little cash out, right? Interest rates are as low as possible. So
right. Absolutely. Right
now, you could literally level up, take cash. And in your market down where you guys are, I look at properties down there all the time. Because unlike Massachusetts, I mean, there's nothing under like 400K that's worth buying.
Dude, the market where we're at in Ohio is absolutely insane.
Because
so I work for a relocation company, so I deal with realtors and properties every day, right?
Yeah.
And our market is absolutely insane, and it has been for damn near a year.
And I think it's not going anywhere either. Limited for single family residents specifically,
sure,
especially in your market. And I'm not saying go to Akron, right? And I'm not saying go to, you know, Cleveland necessarily, right? There's
different. You know, in Ohio geography.
Oh, dude, I'm looking up there.
John did his research, baby.
Well, and that's the thing about even Northeast Ohio is you can make, and where you can't do it in the rest of the country, where you can make not very much money at all and live very comfortably because the cost of living here is so much lower here compared to other places in the country, for sure.
And say you buy a place, and same with Orlando, right? I'm fine with sharing that example, right? I bought it for $135,000. I was able to do that from a sale of my previous residence. Thankfully, we're veterans, so I got to leverage the VA loan and not put a full 20% down, right?
Yeah.
Put that money into my bank account and just sitting there. And guess what? During all the coronavirus, your bank account's turning into inflation. You know, a gallon of milk's gone up 50 cents. People aren't even realizing that their grocery bill is going up. So you need to find a way to hedge that bet without making a bad investment, right? Because prices are at an all-time high. So I closed on that November 2019, got it for $135,000, and it's cash flowing what's called the 1% rule. So it's going to meet at least $13.50 a month. I think you guys put that together.
Sure.
But the appreciation, which never invest on appreciation, that's just a bonus. I just had it reappraised and refinanced it only a year later, and it's valued at $175 right now.
Oh, geez, what an investment! Holy cow!
I cost that property, and you take a look at the percent return on the cash that I put in. Meanwhile, you also have to remember my tenants have never missed a payment. So only in America you can buy another property. You can buy another property and have somebody else pay for it. So it makes it feel like it's coming out of you, you know, and it's on your credit report. But guess what? You're not even paying for it. Especially you know, long-term wealth. That's how long-term wealth is built. And I could go on this a whole nother episode, so I won't bore your guests with it. But I am passionate about it because
no, man, it's not boring at all. I mean, clearly you are passionate about it too.
You can't rely on Social Security, right? And if you're you know investing, right, you have a 401k. A lot of people are diving into Robinhood. I do have Robinhood, but honestly, that's gambling. That's not
for sure. I agree. Actually, sustained
growth. Index funds is sustained growth. 10% over the last 100 years on average is good. You know, so if you have 100K index fund and you're getting 10% year over year, compounding over and over and over 20 years, guess what? You can draw down on that if you get fired from your job. Or you're like, you know what? I don't want to work anymore. I want to spend more time with my family. You're still getting paid.
Yeah, man. I think you hit the nail on the head. I think that financial freedom is really the biggest thing that you get. Right. You know, and money doesn't buy happiness, but it buys freedom. You know, at the end of the day, and having the time allotment for what you choose to spend your day and to spend your life on is so huge. I think it's a missed topic for too many people. It really truly is. But clearly this real estate thing is definitely a passion of yours, and I definitely see
I
why.
mean, because it's a vehicle, it's a tool, right? I'm not saying like everybody should go all in on real estate. Not everybody should go all in on stocks, and that's coming from my financial advisor. His
right.
words. You're just going to hedge your bet in a number of different areas. But what I'm really focused on in the future is humble beginnings. I'm passionate about it. I love coffee. I love the business. I have a great time working with the guys. And if I can find a way to get enough passive income to meet my bills on a monthly basis, and maybe I don't even get paid from humble beginnings, right? Maybe we just keep giving back and continuing to roll and letting it grow. I'm going to love doing that every day. And that's going to be exciting for me to get up and be like, if I don't sell, in another perspective, if I don't sell coffee, my family doesn't eat. That's sort of mentality too, right? I'm excited. That's kind of, I don't plan on working past 47 at the absolute latest. And I know I can't count on Social Security. So
right.
I don't know what I got to do to get there, but I'm going to reverse engineer how to get there and figure it out. And I'm not a genius either. You'll listen to our first podcast episode. You guys will be quite surprised.
Listen, John, I've known you for super long, but I've known you before all of this. So listen, we've gone back a little bit, but
dude, when I met you, bro, I was living in a 400 square foot condo with my wife. The bathroom was in the bedroom. So
what you're saying, it's all of your success is because of me.
That's what I was gonna say, but
in less words, like
the thing is, it's like
too long. Yeah, the whole too long didn't read. Basically, it's all because of me.
If fewer words, you're welcome.
It's like you can almost understand what I'm going to say.
Oh my, yeah. Oh man, God, that's awesome. I tell you what, and there's one thing that you've hit on a few times that I hope people else have also caught on to is the importance of having, and you mentioned it not only in your personal life but in the professional life, is having and finding a mentor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think it's so important, so important. So I've recently transitioned roles in my personal job and have started to find out and seek out different mentors. And it's absolutely the most important thing I think you can do for both personal and professional growth. And I'm sure you'll echo that same statement.
Absolutely. And take a look at this, right? If you could have Justin Ramey's advice 10 years from now, how much would that be worth to you?
Oh, fuck, dude, you're losing money. Listen, do not.
But the thing is, think about it from a knowledge perspective, right? Like in Gary Vee, right? We'll say that everybody knows him.
Right. Everybody knows Gary.
For 10 years of his life back, he would give every single dime he has because he knows with the knowledge he has now, he can make double, right? So I looked at that. One of my mentors said that to me as well. And I have real estate mentors. I have coffee mentors. And really what I focused on this year is I also have spiritual / and I'm not really a religious guy, but spiritual / family mentors, because what entrepreneurs really need to understand. And I honestly argued with my wife before I came down here, and I had to apologize because I knew my podcast swag would be off because I had to make it right. Making sure that's tight is number one, because if that's not tight, everything else is going to be all jacked up.
Yeah. I mean, and Lee, you can attest to that with Masonic Lodge and everything like that, with like the spiritual mentor and everything like that,
Absolutely. Especially because people think like so much about Freemasonry is about church, and it's really just about, enjoying other people that are like-minded and finding mentors and being that mentor that somebody else needs, or, vice versa. And those roles change kind of constantly, which is really cool.
Absolutely. And it's also as the giving back piece, right? And it's not necessarily always monetary value. Mm-hmm. You don't know if that person you talk to, right, back when we get to the normal days again. My wife is Christian, and she's been going to church her entire life, and we went regular. Even though we have different beliefs, I can get behind getting up at a time on Sunday to go help something or serve something bigger than myself. Mm-hmm. I'm all for that. Yeah, for sure.
And I'll say to anybody who's listening to this and is anybody with inspiration or is on the fence about it, anybody who's ever reached out to me or anybody who I've ever reached out to, I can tell you this on 100% of 10 out of 10, 100 out of 100 cases, anytime you're reaching out for help like this, you're going to get welcomed with open arms. Truly. Anytime somebody that you see in a position that you want to get to or something like that, or anybody in your profession or outside of your profession, whether it's personal, whether it's spiritual, whether it's professional, if you reach out to somebody, I guarantee you're going to get that response that you're hoping for.
And
so
if you don't,
do not do it out of fear, because truly people are out there. I honestly think that if you reach out for help, you're going to be surprised on the amount of support you're going to get.
and if you don't, then they weren't right to be that mentor in the first place.
Right. Absolutely.
Right.
No, true.
Yeah.
I agree.
Honestly, LinkedIn's a great tool too. You know,
yeah, for sure.
Mentors, you're going to get some. The advice I always give to students or whoever I'm talking to is, you know, bring something of value when you're going for a mentor, right? Don't say, I need this.
Yeah.
Relationships don't start, you know, you don't get married after the first date unless it's arranged, but it's not, right? So there's always back and forth. What can you provide to that mentorship, right? Maybe, I don't know what it is, but you know, it's mentorships. What I like to say, and this is one of my mentors says, it's not built in the microwave, it's built in the crock pot. It's over a long period of time. And again, for also people, podcasts. I mean, think of how much free information is out there right now.
Right.
If you're not, scaling up right now and you're on a commute or you're not on a commute, people are just putting out free content. If you're not listening, then you're not paying attention. That's
right. Right. And we understand exactly the realm and the lane that we fill, you know, we're not in it, but it's truly right, man. There's so many opportunities. There's so much content out there, whether it's podcasts, whether it's videos. It truly is. Everything is at your fingerprints. If you want it, it's right there. It's absolutely right there.
Yep. Access to information has never been faster, and it's only going to get faster. So you got to figure out how to incorporate it into your life.
Sure. Absolutely.
Yeah,
man, we went.
Like there's more technology in your cell phone than there was on the Apollo 13. It's crazy.
It is crazy.
Yeah. Man, I always hate when people complain about that too. When people are like, I don't know why, this is a weird thing that just bugs me. Everybody has that one thing that just like, for some reason, out of complete nonsense, that just bugs them. And it's whenever people complain about their cell phones or like laptops, like, oh man, my phone's bugging up or something. Like, you don't realize, man, this stuff's linking up to satellites in outer space and connecting back to your phone. And it's taking like, oh man, I'm so sorry that your app loaded in 7 seconds.
Right.
It's absolutely amazing. Like people just completely forget about what it was 5, 10, 15 years ago.
Oh, and how lost we would be. I mean, I remember I was driving down to my buddy's house, and they live in Southern Ohio. Like, Ohio changes a lot if you're not from here. Like, you get in the big cities, and it's like real like city, and it's kind of booming. But then when you get out of the cities, there's like cornfields and nothing, and like people
corn
like,
and meth.
What they know Ohio for, you know. And I'm literally driving to this friend's house, and I'm driving miles on a gravel road, and my phone is losing service, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like I don't know how to get there, and I don't know how to get back at this point. Like,
how quickly we rely and we revert back to just not really knowing. I mean, it really is.
Remember MapQuest? Remember MapQuest? I don't know.
Printing out directions. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my God. You took a wrong turn. There was no recalculating. You just you figured it out.
Exactly.
And I was in that spot, and I'm like, please don't recalculate because I can't reconnect. Like,
I saw one quote and it was years ago, and I think it's even more true now. Is that we have all the information at our fingertips. Thank you, Lacey, for calling me out for drunkenly saying fingerprints.
I'm jealous. You guys even have like an editor and stuff.
Oh yeah,
that's it. Podcast is pushed back another week.
Right. No, it's all right. I'll edit it all out in post. But that's what's tough with doing this live stream is that so the first couple episodes we did was all like, listen, I go in and I'd spend hours and hours trying to edit out and trying to take all the ums and little pauses and try and make us sound more intelligent and make it all flow. And now with us doing these live streams, it's like, listen, what you get is what you get.
Right.
But I read this quote years ago, and I think it's more true now, is that we have all this information and we have everything in 2 seconds. We can know everything, right? But we're not any smarter for it. You know, I really think that that's true. You know, we can know the answer to something right now, but are we any smarter for it?
Right, and that's like instant gratification, right? And
sure,
especially it is. I don't care. It's the younger generation below us, right? And it's only going to probably get worse and worse. However, people said this about all kinds of technology. Even when the regular phone was coming out, people were like, it's going to be stuck to their ear. They're going to get arthritis in their elbow. And you don't embrace technology and you don't scale up and level up and figure it out. Even if you're 65, you never turn on a computer, it's still not too late. You got to keep up with the times. And that's why people are, always have the discussion, and there is a debate behind it, but when can your kid get a phone? I mean, there's arguments to both sides, right? Like the cyberbullying stuff is out of control now because kids can really never get away from other kids, right? They're just so connected. However, you also don't want them to be behind from a technological standpoint. So
that's
tough.
Right, and then and they say like there was this big argument that I was not arguing, but a discussion. That like internet is a necessity, and it's an expensive necessity, but you can't get anywhere without even the ability to connect to the internet in your home. Like so, a cell phone and internet connectivity that's not a luxury anymore.
Right.
No.
It's an expensive necessity, but it is a necessity for sure.
Yeah, and we are the data subjects, right? There's a reason why the internet is actually as affordable as it is, but that's why things like Facebook and all these social media websites are actually free, because years and years ago, there was a deal made with the government to say, hey, if we can continue to collect data on all of these people and provide them more services, we are focused on all these ads. So the internet would actually be monetized if that agreement was never made. Your privacy, right? You're giving up a little bit of privacy for a little bit of money. People don't really understand that, though.
Sure, man. That's your world. Have you read or listened to the Permanent Record? Have you read that book?
I haven't. No. Most of the books I read are like Can't Hurt Me by Goggins right now. Jocko Willink, Extreme Ownership, all those sort of millionaire, life of a millionaire sort of books, because this year I'm all about the law of attraction. And I actually did a vision board this year.
Yeah. Hey, man, listen, they work. They work.
Dude, they work, man. They work. Most of the stuff on there is already coming true. One of them is a podcast. So, I don't have too many more boxes to check.
Dude, that's a good problem to have, man. It truly is. That's awesome. Yeah. Hey, in your free time or whatever, man, I would recommend it. I think it's right up your alley. Edward Snowden.
I'll check it out.
It was his latest book, Permanent Record. It was great. He's got a great audio book that he actually narrates. And he's extremely eloquent and very well spoken and does a really, really good job. He does a really good job actually reading his own book, hearing it from the horse's mouth, if you will. It was a good one. I definitely recommend. But,
that's awesome. I'll definitely check that out.
Word, man. I feel like we've gone on like so deep levels, so much more than anything else, John. You've really given us so many different things.
I had fun, man. I love doing this kind of stuff, and I would just like to say, just like I challenge your listeners that if there is somebody out there who's kind of down on their luck, you guys got 500 streams. That's nothing to bat an eye about. If there is one person, just reach out to these guys. I mean, you can see how fun they are, right? They're like this in real life. I don't know about Lee yet.
Sorry,
seems cool. But, reach out. That's what these guys are trying to do. Like, they want to hear from you. Even if you have a beer idea, like reach out, or an idea that you want to come on. Maybe you're a brewery and you want to come on the show and promote your business. I challenge the listeners to reach out to these guys.
Yeah, man, we've been so excited. We've had people reach out to us, and we've been reaching out the same way of trying to get people either on or doing these live podcasts. And we're always so taken back that if you can just make that first step, that what seems like such a large leap, if you take that step, which is always so much smaller than you think it really is, that it always catches you by surprise, man. We've been so absolutely humbled by the amount of support and how many positive responses we've gotten. We've got turned down a few times here or there.
That's going to happen. If you're doing something wrong.
Right, exactly. But man, we've been blown away by how many positive responses we've got. And even just having you excited to want to be here with us is still insane to us. I mean, we've only been doing this for, it's been, like 2.5, not even 3 months, really. Yeah,
9 episodes, right? This is, or not 9, maybe 9?
9. This is 9 technically if you count the one that we did with B3F, because we didn't count the one that we did for the holiday. So this is like our 9th episode, which sounds, even to us, at least for me, it seems like longer and shorter at the same time.
Right. I feel that.
Yeah. It's holy hell, 9 episodes. Like, man, we should really figure this out by now. But then it's like, oh man, only 9 episodes. You look at everybody else
9 episodes
for years and years.
We've gone from like doing this on our phones and like to like having a video podcast, and
we got strolling, we got little things coming across the bottom.
I really do love that. I think that's great, and what you guys are doing, you can definitely tell you're continuing to grow. And just a little insight from my mentor. He actually was put out a podcast consistently. The key is consistency.
Sure.
We'll get there, but he went from like 200 streams to 2 million after year 3.
Wow,
so
man, what a jump!
We're able to go back to different seasons, and so, like I said, you guys are doing all the right things. This is awesome. Like, people love it, so it's going to grow organically, and it's going to be awesome. So,
dude, my head's not going to get through the door.
I know, right? I'm just going to call John at 4 a.m. when he gets up in the morning just for a pep talk.
Yeah,
I know, seriously, right? Man.
We're happy to do that. That's the whole point behind what we're trying to push is like, let's keep these conversations going. And the best part about it is, sometimes Devin's responding to people right in the inbox, but sometimes it's me who actually responds back, and we kind of all take turns. All 3 of us monitor the Instagram account, but anybody is more than welcome to reach out at any time. We love shooting the stuff.
I tell you what, now we're getting clean, right? An hour and a half in. Oh man, that's funny. It's all right. Our sponsors already pulled out their money.
Yeah.
Mountain Lightning and Dr. Thunder. They're all of that. Those millions of dollars are pulling out.
Sponsorship there.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, one thing that's good, John, I know you mentioned that Devin will respond or you'll respond. What's great is that even knowing all 3 of you is that to the point I don't even know sometimes. Most of the time I assume it's Devin, but I don't even know. It's how consistent you guys are with your message and how locked in everybody is to what you guys are trying to achieve is so evident, even from an outsider standpoint. I'd like to think that I know a little bit more than the average Joe, but really I don't. So even just my interactions with you guys it's so evident that you're all locked in, you're all on the same page, and I wish you guys all the most continued success for 2021 and cannot wait to see what you guys achieve in this new year. I think it's awesome what you guys are doing. It's great that you guys are focused in 2021, have a vision, what you guys want to do for giving back with the community, the backstory, how you guys got started. Everybody is really, really locked in. I honestly can't say good enough things about you.
Thank you.
And Johnny and Devin and what you guys are doing. It's truly awesome, and it's very inspiring for us, and it's definitely going to keep us pushing to continue to grow and get better each and every week and every episode, and try and reach kind of set our goals a little bit higher. I think after this week, sitting down with you and realizing what you guys have going on, and not just with Humble Beginnings, but you as a person. I think me and Lee got to reevaluate what we've got going on, and maybe set our sights a little bit higher and push our goals a little bit farther. So I really can't thank you enough, man. It's been an absolute pleasure and a blast having you on, man.
Yeah. Really, thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it big time. All 3 of us bring a different level of talent and a different skill set. So that's really what I think makes all 3 of us really succeed and towards our common vision. And I appreciate all the kind words for sure. And, we would like to share with your listeners too, drink it for 10% off.
Oh man, here we go.
At hbcoffeeco.com. Our Instagram is at hbcoffeeco. Like I said, for these guys too, you're more than welcome to reach out to us. We love just having coffee and conversation, and we love talking literally everything. We're true entrepreneurs through and through, and we love the daily grind. See what I did there?
The daily grind. Ooh, I love that. Is that a little foreshadowing there, John?
Yeah. No.
I'm saying, listen, I think that's a great brand.
No, I won't put the name out there yet because it's going to be officially registered in a couple of days, and after that.
Gotcha. Awesome.
But yeah, no, I appreciate it, and this has been great, and we'll definitely have to do it again.
Yeah, for sure. So what was that promo code one more time for everybody?
It is Drink It for 10%. And
Drink It.
If you want to come up with another one, you're more than welcome to. But what I'd like to say is for another additional 5% off, if you guys shoot us a follow and send us a DM and just say additional code, we'll give you another 5% off on top of that.
Oh, what a guy, guys. Seriously, I promise you.
Literally, I told you we make $4 on a bag of coffee, so we're actually losing money for you to do that.
Wow.
And we'll prove it to you if you don't believe us, but we just really want, good coffee in the hands of people who appreciate it.
Guys, I promise you absolutely will not regret it. Please take advantage of this awesome and incredible offer that they're sending out to you guys. That honestly, me and Lee, if you're watching the video, you'll see the reactions. That was not planned at all. We did not know that this was coming. So,
and honestly, it's good. The deal's good for the next 30 seconds. So
perfect. So we record this on, what is today? Thursday. So on Saturday you'll be good. So everybody put in your code, and when it gets pushed back, you're gonna have a good time. But Awesome. Thanks so
Appreciate it.
much, John. I know you got a lot going on, so thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule to meet with us, man. It was an absolute blast. I can't wait to have you on and maybe Johnny, maybe Devin. We'll get the whole crew together at some point. So
Great. That'd be great.
Awesome.
Guys. All right.
Right on. Lee, give us our signature sign off, Lee. Come on.
Signature sign off. All right. Hey guys, thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Instagram at Drink About It Podcast. New episodes drop weekly. I know next week we're going to live stream Saturday nights with some other friends, secret mystery guests, but it'll be a lot of fun, lots and lots of fun. I think we're all going to be together for that one. So check us out Saturday on that live stream, and the audio will drop weekly as well. And then Saturday, February 6th, we're on a live stream from Mortal's Key. I've got the big crowler right here drinking the Oktoberfest.
There we go.
So thanks again, everybody, for listening.
Right
Bye-bye.
on. And then, guys, check out, I know we've been placing on the bottom of our live stream. You'll see all the links to Humble Beginnings Coffee Company. Make sure you check them out on all their social media pages at hbcoffeeco.com, as well as where you can go on and order and use that promo code DRINKIT. So that is it. We're signing off for the night. Thanks again, John. Lee, we'll catch you later. See you guys.
Bye-bye.